Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Today's tutorial is going to be for crocheted leg warmers. This is a beginner-friendly tutorial. You don't need a lot of experience to do this, and I'm going to be going very slow. So if you don't have a lot of experience, don't worry, I'll walk you through it. Let's go ahead and get right into the supplies for this project. So you are going to need a 5.5 millimeter hook, some crochet needles, a pair of scissors, and an optional stitch counter. I use this to keep track of my rows, but you can just keep track on your phone or on a piece of paper. And the yarn that I used for these leg warmers is the Red Heart Super Saver brushed yarn. That gives it a little bit of a soft texture to it, as opposed to the regular Red Heart Super Saver yarn that's not brushed. So let's go ahead and get started. The stitches that you are going to learn today or need to know for this tutorial are a half double crochet, a slip stitch, chaining, and back loop only. So if you don't know what those are, I will show you. Let's go ahead and get started. You're going to take your yarn and you're going to make a slip knot. Be sure to leave enough extra yarn to weave in later. You don't want that piece to be too small. It makes it harder to weave in. And then you're going to take your hook and you're going to put your slip stitch onto your hook, and we're going to chain 42. Now the length is going to be the vertical length of your leg warmer, so from your ankle to your midway up your shin, however long you want them. If you want them longer than what I have shown in my example, then you want to do more than 42. It doesn't really matter the exact number as long as you're okay with the length. For this one, to make the example that I showed you, we're going to do 42. So go ahead and chain 42. So you yarn over and pull through, and that's chaining. So do that 42 times. Now that you have 42 chains, we're going to start working on row 1. So for row 1, you're going to put a half double crochet into the third chain from your hook. A half double crochet is yarning over, and then for this row we're going to go 3 chains down, so insert into the third chain from the hook, yarn over again, pull through your stitch, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That is a half double crochet. So we're going to do another one. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So that is the stitch you're going to be doing for the entire project. If you needed me to do it again, go ahead and rewind and watch me do it a few more times until you're comfortable with it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to half double crochet in all of these stitches until you reach the end. Okay, you just placed your last half double crochet in the last chain space, and you are at the end of row 1. So what we're going to do is chain 2 and turn your work, and that is row 1. So starting row 2, you're going to half double crochet all the way across, but the only difference for the next row is that you are going to do it in the back loop only. So when you're normally crocheting, you put your hook through these 2 loops, so it's a stitch, a full stitch. For this row, you're only going to be putting your hook in the back loop through the entire row. So this is a normal stitch, and this is a back loop only stitch. So you kind of want to go into the top of the stitch and separate those 2 pieces and only work in the back. This creates that ribbing ripple effect on the leg warmers. So we're going to do a half double crochet, which is what you've already been doing, but in the back loop only. and you're just going to do this all the way across, working in the back loop only. That's very important if you want it to have this, for example, if you want it to have this ripple effect, you're just going to continue half double crochet, back loop only, all the way across. Towards the end of your row, you want to make sure that you're getting into the last back loop. It's a little difficult and sometimes it can be easily looked over, so you just want to make sure you make it all the way to the end and you don't skip that last one. And once you are done with your second row, it should kind of have like this little rib edging, as you can kind of see. And what we're going to do is chain 2 like we did with row 1 and turn our work again. So for the rest of this pattern, or for the rest of the rows that you're crocheting, you're going to repeat row 2 until you have 30 rows. So it's just half double crochet in the back loop only, chain 2, turn, and you're just going to repeat row 2 until you are at 30 rows, or until you can fold it in half, until it can wrap around your leg all the way. So for me, that's 30 rows, but if you want yours looser or if you want it tighter, you might do less or more. You just want to hold up your piece and kind of try and wrap it around your leg, and if it wraps around, you're good to go. When you are wrapping around, you want to make sure that your rows are vertical on your leg. They should not be horizontal, they should be vertical, and you want to basically crochet until it wraps around your leg and you can attach it. So go ahead and crochet however many rows that is needed for you, and then come back to the video and I'll show you how to finish off your leg warmer. Okay, so now that you are done with your 30 rows or however many rows needed to wrap around your leg, you're going to connect the corners of your project and kind of flip it around so you can work right to left. But you want to fold your project in half like this, connecting your corners. You should have a long rectangle once you fold it. We are going to slip stitch the ends together and finish off our project. So in order to do this, make sure your hook is in the corner. You've already crocheted one, and what you're going to do is you're going to line up these pieces and you're going to insert your hook into the back loop of the front piece and then into the stitch of the back piece. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and pull that piece all the way through that stitch. So I'll show you how to do that again. It's a little tricky. So you're going to insert your hook into the back loop, insert your hook into the stitch in the other piece, yarn over, pull through both, and pull through the loop on your hook. So insert your hook in the back loop of the front piece, and in the back piece, yarn over, pull through, and continue to just pull through that loop. So you are just slip stitching your project together. There's not really an exact count of the stitches when it comes to the back. You just kind of have to wing it. So back loop of the front piece, loop in the back piece, and you're just gonna slip stitch all the way until you reach the end of your leg warmer. And once you place the last slip stitch into the last part, your leg warmer should now be a leg warmer. So what we're going to do is, to finish this off, we're going to chain 1, and then you're going to cut your yarn, leave a good piece to weave in, then you're just going to pull your hook until the yarn comes through. Perfect. Now what you're going to do is take your two pieces if they're by one another. Sometimes you end up on the other side, which is fine. But if you end up over here, based on how many rows you did, go ahead and tie a double knot. And then you're going to take a crochet needle and you're going to thread your pieces of yarn into the crochet needle. And what I do is I like to weave in my ends along the seam of my leg warmer. So I kind of just poke it in. There's not really an exact way to do this. It's to each their own, but I just like to poke it through, pull it through, and then kind of weave it back through. And I just do this until I feel like it's pretty well in there. There's not really an exact science, and no one's looking that close because they're on your legs. And then you just cut the thread off. And that is how you crochet your very own set of leg warmers. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel for more crochet tutorials. If there was any part of this video that was confusing or you need a little more of an explanation on, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will get to it as soon as possible. Also, leave a comment if you were able to successfully finish your leg warmers. I'm hoping that this tutorial was beginner level, easy and accessible. If it wasn't, please let me know. Thank you for watching.